G'day everyone, Josh here from Motaero. Just want to talk today about our cross-trainer cartridge kits, the evolution of the cartridge kit, how it all come about. So it all come about off the back of a customer's request to make something for his better cross-trainer. As we know, the suspension's pretty lacking. It's got no hold up, it's deflecty, it darts all over the track.
So just a quick one, what are we looking at here? So this is the cartridge off a 25 or 26 model Cross Trainer 300. So top quadrant is our compression phase, bottom is our rebound phase. Okay, so you can see here, these are different rebound settings because that's all we've got to play with on the stock cartridge, and we've got a little bit of variation in the up to 500 millimeters per second range. Okay, a little bit of a spread here through the 250, compression zilch. So that's why you don't have any adjustment. It's pretty lackluster.
So we made some parts to fit into the original cartridge, and it worked quite well. And we wanted to make something that was a bit easier to fit for everyday user. So we built our V1 cartridge kit. So the V1 cartridge kit compiles of our cone valve, mid valve assembly, all made here in house, into our tubes, coupled with some WP damping rods in the early days. All right, so the idea of the kit is we set it out as a complete unit. You would drop it into a fork leg. This is off an 85, but for example, you drop your cartridge in there, and then you have a little turn assembly, goes in the bottom, does up into the cartridge, and then you could adjust it with a 4mm Allen key. Now this works really, really well. However, it leaves a little bit on the table in terms of fitting. It's not the easiest thing to fit if you don't understand how to get rid of the free play in the retaining bolt. So we normally send it out with a couple of different thickness copper washers. All right, and it works quite well, and the feedback is outstanding. No negatives in terms of performance or usability. The only negatives we received was the fact that for some people it wasn't the easiest thing to fit. Okay, so that's okay. It was never intended to be a mass-produced drop-in cartridge kit at that point. So at that point, we were just testing the waters off the feedback from the customer and requests from the customer, and therefore we come up with a solution. So anyway, it quickly became one of our quickest selling components. Canada, USA, New Zealand, every state in Australia. So we hit the ground pretty hard, and we had to continually make parts off the back of these requests. So effectively, same cartridge, similar rod, similar bits and pieces, but some refinements for usability. To start with, we're doing an all-in-one retaining bolt. Okay, so the retaining bolt, which has our 23mm piston, it runs a sub valve. Most people that have been around suspension know what a sub valve is, or low speed valve. So we can tune this independent of the actual clicker. We can do that. We have our shim stack that's set. All the components are made in house. It now has a stub with the O-ring on it to seal in the bottom of the fork foot, and on the bottom of that stub we have our locking nut. Now the locking nut, it also has the torque values, because even though all the manuals are found on our website, some people don't use manuals. Compression, plus and minus on the bottom. So idea is you get your cartridge, you drop that in the fork tube, you push it through, a little bit of oil or a bit of grease on the O-ring, and then we can do up our retaining nut. And then we can torque that up to the specified torque setting. So much, much easier to fit the cartridge, even easier than our V1, right? In the bottom of that, we still have a clicker with a 4mm Allen key. We can pass up through the bottom of the fork, and we now have access to our compression circuit. All right, so that there has got pretty much 50 clicks of compression adjustment. Okay, you don't need 50, it's just got 50 clicks. Okay, so much adjustability, so much usability, so much tuning ability. This is just a really simple set and forget, drop it and go sort of cartridge.
Now here's a couple of overlays just of different configurations within our cartridge. These aren't by anywhere, meaning they're the final ones. It's just showing the variation in the spread that we've got in our adjusters between the compression and the rebound circuits. So much more tunable. Once again, we will tailor for your application, but over the stock system, very user friendly, much more usability.
We have a QR code with some other details on the cartridge. Takes you straight to our web page, which has a link to the manuals for installation. We have our hydro stop assembly. Hydro stop assembly is assembled onto the rod. Okay, it is screwed down. We've done the nut with a flange on the top, because there is nothing worse than when your damping rod disappears into the oil and your nut doesn't hold the bloody thing there. So it is there, okay? It comes all shipped, ready to go. The rebound rod is inside the fork, inside the cartridge, sorry, and then on top we have a little plastic piece that we've 3D printed which holds it all together. It even says remove. So you remove that, you fit this in, you bleed up your cartridge. The only thing you keep out of the original fork, apart from the inner and outer tubes, is your cap. The cap goes on and it gives you basically 20 clicks of rebound adjustment. Same as the OEM. We've now got 50 in compression. You're ready to hit the ground running and love life. For any questions or queries, sing out. Reach out to Sean or myself at admin@motaero.com. More than happy to answer anything you have.